Fans, welcome back to fightingyo.com. And this is the Punchline with me and Jack. Jack, how you doing?
Doing all right. How you doing, Brian?
I'm doing great, man. Ready to break down some fights, bro. Last week was insane. What an amazing card, and not too many mixed reviews, man. I think overall everybody said that it was pretty fire.
It was a very well received pay-per-view. I know I, for one, was tuned into every single fight, and there was not a single letdown, and I was into every single fight that we watched.
Yeah, man. Jumping right into the prelim card, bro. We saw Zhang Mingyang.
Ooh.
Sorry if I butchered that, but what a beast! He took a couple shots and then immediately retaliated. Let's get a look at this.
Ooh, what a
Incredible.
finish! What a finish!
Ooh,
Oh,
the lead.
out cold.
Wow, that
Also,
lead hand.
yeah. Also remove the
Oh yeah,
top. Uh,
with
what
the
a
lead hand. That was
what
insane.
what a finish. That's definitely a name to keep in your notebooks in the light heavyweight contention. He did call out Alex Pereira for UFC 301.
Mhm.
I mean,
Yeah, fat chance on that one.
debut fight maybe a little bit ambitious, but I
Mhm.
definitely see him if he keeps this pace up with the hands of steel. I definitely could see that a title shot coming in the future of his career for sure.
There's been a lot of like kind of like I don't want to say hype trains. I don't want to call Pereira a hype train, but he just like leveled up so fast, right?
Right. He skipped the prospect stage. He really just went straight to title contender as he had um two fights in the UFC before facing Adesanya for the championship, winning the championship,
Hmm. Yeah,
fighting one more fight, then fighting for the title and then losing the title, and then just
and get-
because he decided
and
to
getting
go
it
light
back.
heavyweight,
Oh man.
and then he beat Jan Blachowicz,
Hmm.
and then he beat Yuri for the title, and now he's fighting. Now he's defending.
I don't think that it would like. I'm not saying that it's impossible for Ming Yang, but I don't see the UFC allowing something like that happening again. You have to be a real special unit. Not that Ming Yang isn't special. It's his debut, but we don't know much about him. Say maybe he gets another couple of knockouts. Well, we're gonna have to see. Too early to
Right,
tell.
right.
And going up the card, Justin Taffa gets his fight canceled, and you said just immediately his brother steps in.
Justin Taffa stepped out of his fight because I believe he got sick. Um, stepped out either day of or like the night before, and his brother Junior Taffa, who he had been training with, took the fight on less than a 2 days notice, weighed in 5 minutes before the deadline, made weight, and fought all within 4 days.
That's incredible. Putting your body
And
through that type of stress. The guy's a professional, and
props to him.
but he found himself in a hell of a fight
Ooh, he
against a monster. And so Lima was chewing up those leg kicks,
ooh those
chewing up that leg,
n-
and by the end of round one, it was already completely
he couldn't
swollen.
couldn't stand on it. And I don't know if you're a fighter, but I think you need both your legs to fight.
Oh yeah, he couldn't put no weight on it. You see, he was ready to fall down without even getting kicked.
Yeah, and Marcos just kept those coming. They didn't stop the entire fight. And
Mhm. Yeah,
yeah,
Marcos is definitely still a danger in the division. I don't know where he goes from here, but definitely want some respect to that one.
yes, I don't blame him. That was a dominant display.
Yep, and I didn't really see the leg kicks coming from Marcos, man. I thought he was gonna just go all hands and maybe try to take a Toffa down. And Toffa, honestly, not so bad with the hands.
No, both Tafas are mainly a striking team. Like their main focus is their boxing and their any groundwork that they do is mostly just getting up so they can go back to their bread and butter, which is the striking.
Hmm. Do you think that's
So
what made Lima have to resort to the leg kicks?
yeah, I mean you can't.
Maybe the reach.
Yeah, that if the best way to deal with somebody's strength is to knock out that said strength if you can. And obviously 90% of your power comes from your legs when you throw a punch
Especially in the
because it's
boxing
your
stance.
base, especially in a boxing stance. So to get rid of a fighter's base is like taking away a house's foundation. Like it's only a matter of time before it falls down.
Yes, sir. What an amazing fight. And the feature prelim fight, amazing fight, man. Amanda Lemos versus Mackenzie Dern. Now,
Jeez, that was
so much to be said
what
about this one.
what a banger. I mean, the fight of the night title went to it. There was maybe one other fight that came in contest, and that was the Whitaker fight, which we'll touch up soon.
Hmm.
But that fight was full gas pedal. These ladies were trying to kill each other in the ring in the octagon.
I don't think Mackenzie Dern was ready for such a high level kickboxer. She looked like she was in glory kickboxing. Like she was almost not even scared of Dern's takedowns. Although granted, Dern did not really try for the takedowns
Right.
until she was getting smacked up.
Dern did mainly try and stay on the feet and try and square up against Lemos, which was a questionable choice, but with the takedown being such a threat, I could definitely see how she might have feinted takedowns to try and open up some holes in Lemos's defense to try and land some good strikes.
Yeah, I'm getting I'm getting some Ronda Rousey vibes. You know, kind of maybe thinking that she could strike with the best strikers, which I don't think
Yeah.
is wise.
Yeah. I mean, as we all know, Ronda Rousey is one of the pioneers of women's MMA, and even though she was champion, she wasn't the best striker. I mean, she was judo black belt, one of the best female judo practitioners of all time.
Judoka.
But yes, and her armbar is world renowned. I mean, that's what she finished almost all of her fights with.
Mhm.
Um,
I say if it ain't broke, don't fix it, right?
exactly. And even when her opponents knew it was coming, they could not get out of it. Like it's
Mhm.
so she was a genius of getting into that armbar position and prying those arms apart, and her pull was terrifying.
Yeah. Now we've seen Darren get beat and come back better. Do you think that what do you think this time she's gonna have to do?
Uh, Mackenzie Dern is a beast. She is just such a good fighter, and Amanda Lemos too. Um, I definitely don't see this. It was taken on short notice by Mackenzie Dern, I believe.
Oh, really?
Uh, yeah. So I don't see this blemishing too much on her career. I definitely see her coming back fighting another top five, probably top 10 opponent. In the within the next few weeks, months. She might be. My guess is that she's fighting on the Brazil card at UFC 301,
Oh, that'd be
as
cool.
she is a Brazilian, and that would be a great fight to have.
Yeah. With that gash, I don't know. It depends on how long it's gonna take to heal. But I'll
Right.
give her
You
one
never.
thing. What a chin.
Ooh, they're
Because she got
both.
hit with straight with really good shots and it hurt. And actually, I think I got a highlight over here of Darren. Guys, check this out.
Ramos getting a little sloppy. Yeah, be careful. Connected now.
So
Oh,
Ooh,
this.
turn goes down. Referee monitoring the action.
was that a
And you
right
see that?
hand?
Hold on.
Yeah. Boom.
Ramos getting a little sloppy.
Oh,
Boom.
Yeah,
Yep.
turn
ooh,
connected now.
Oh, his left
Oh,
hand now.
turn goes
left
down.
hand.
Referee.
Literally chasing her to the floor.
Right, and referee could have stopped the fight. Props to the ref for letting it keep going, or else we probably wouldn't have gotten that amazing fight.
Hmm. Yeah, I'm all with that. I'm really down with that. Getting Mario Yamasaki vibes. Let them fight.
If he if he dies, if she dies, she dies.
Hey man, moving on to the main card.
Ooh.
Anthony Hernandez versus Roman Kopylov. Whoa.
I had Roman Kopylov going into the fight as he is a very good striker and his ground game is I wouldn't say amazing, but it's definitely good enough to stand just to get up and get back to his knockout power. But
Yeah.
Anthony Hernandez
What surprised you
really
about
put
him?
it out there. Really put it out there. He's definitely on my radar now.
What a smart fighter
Yes.
and very resilient. Because once Roman started getting into sort of a flow, um, and Hernandez was, kind of just like feeling the punches out after doing some work himself, and then once he kind of saw what Kopylov had to offer, he kind of like already knew. He's like, oh no, I got this.
Right. And that's
Yeah.
what jujitsu he's a jujitsu brown belt. And what jujitsu practitioners are trained for is to read your opponent and plan 3 steps ahead because the first thing you try most likely won't work. So
Yeah.
he was getting to know his rhythm, and once he saw that rhythm, he shot for his takedown and
Mhm.
executed. The rest ended with a rear naked choke.
Yeah, let's see that right here.
On the way in. It's a matter of time. Hernandez
Ooh,
knows.
he knew it.
Hernandez got it. He's got it again. The
He
tap.
Mhm.
knew it. He
Yeah,
knew it.
he
He
did.
knew. I
And
don't
I
blame him.
recall, he had him in the rear naked, but in a different position, and then he
Yeah,
locked it in really hard right there.
yeah. He had him in back mount. I
Mm.
believe locked it in. It wasn't as deep. Then Roman got out of it and he rolled into backs where he was sitting behind him, and he had his hooks in, and then he just sunk that in, and it was like an anaconda just squeezed
Yeah.
until
It was almost like
gone.
a Nate Diaz moment. I expected Hernandez to be all like, "Hey, what's up? I got this guy," because it was the crowd was going, "Wow, wow,
Yeah, I was going
wow."
wild too. I mean, I had my money on Kopylov. You saw my picks. I had
Mhm,
Kopylov because that knockout power can't be ignored, but
mhm.
I guess
Very
this time he
exciting
just ignored
fight.
it.
Very, very exciting fight, and both these guys have still a pretty good future in the UFC. So,
Yes,
but
I
I would
definitely
love
see
to see
them.
where Anthony Hernandez goes to next. Um, he has some pretty good skills, so maybe we'll see him against top 10 opponents soon, or
I
maybe top
definitely
15.
see that in the near future. All right.
Who
So
do we got
next
in the?
we
Yeah.
got Marab
Oh
Dvalishvili
man.
versus Triple
Oh
C's Henry
man.
Cejudo.
Man, I was
Wow.
balling during this fight. I was going nuts.
Can't nothing but wow. I mean,
Yeah.
got the seasoned veteran and Henry Cejudo, Olympic champion, flyweight champion, bantamweight champion, Triple C,
Hmm. Started
facing
off the
off.
fight very confident.
Yes, they both started off very confident, but then Marab Dvalishvili, what pressure, what wrestling. I mean, ragdolling an
Hmm.
Olympic wrestling champion.
Yep.
On saying that alone sounds damn near impossible, but
Yep.
he did it, and it was
And
dominance.
a lot of Marab's attacks and all that stuff, it doesn't seem like how kind of like how Henry Cejudo's wrestling. You can see it. It looks like professional wrestling, right?
Yeah,
But Marab hits you from just different angles. His cardio is through the roof. He weaponizes his cardio while he's wrestling. He's throwing these kicks. He's throwing these punches. It doesn't look like professional kickboxing, but he throws it in the right spot, very accurate. He picks his shots very well. Even if you blocking those shots, they're throwing you across the canvas.
right. And the sport is called mixed martial arts, and I'd say Merab's style is the definition of a mixed martial artist, as he's such a dominant wrestler where his pressure is unmatched and his strength is incredible. You saw him pick up Cejudo and walk across the cage
Easily.
um, easily without struggle. And then he pointed and laughed at, I think it was Mark Zuckerberg in the crowd.
Oh
Um,
yeah, he brought him right to him. He's like, "This
yeah.
what you want?"
His striking is elite.
Hmm. His
His
chin.
training, it's his chin is unbreakable. I haven't seen somebody as that's a durable man.
Hmm.
That's a man that can take a punch.
Yeah.
And
Also
just his striking,
his mind,
his
because
mindset is
in that first round, Henry was doing some good work at the beginning of the first round, but you could see
he
right at the like last quarter of the round is when Rob started,
he
really,
started feeling it. He started
yeah,
feeling
started
it.
winning that mental battle. Then he started getting that physical battle, and
And
boom,
yeah, and once Marab gets into that rhythm, there's nothing you can do to stop him. He
and supposedly he went 3 rounds with what's his name, with Sterling in the back right before
Yeah,
this.
I saw that. Supposedly he went 3 5-minute rounds just for funsies before coming out with and having the biggest fight of his career.
Incredible,
So
incredible.
yeah. So what do we see next from Rob? Do you think we see a title fight in his future? Do you think we see a number one contender against
So of, of
against
course, what's his name? He has to wait
uh
for the winner of
of
O'Malley
O'Malley versus
versus
Vera?
Cheetah. Yeah, which that one very up in the air. I don't see Cheeto being so easy for O'Malley, even though O'Malley right now is top of his game.
Right. He is in
Top of
his
his
prime and people are overlooking Cheeto Vera because people are saying, "Oh, his only big win was against O'Malley, and he got lucky with that leg kick, hit the nerve, and his leg just shut down." Which maybe he did, maybe he didn't. Point is, he got the leg kick, he got the win, but O'Malley's trying to avenge it, and Vera's trying to prove that it wasn't a fluke, that he is the better fighter, that he is an elite that
Mhm.
deserves to put some respect on his name.
Yeah, Vera belongs in that conversation, honestly, and he didn't get there just by accident.
No,
You
he is he worked. He's a very good striker, very good fighter. His grit
Mhm.
is amazing. His
Unbreakable,
mentality,
unbreakable mentally too.
yes, he when he's put his mind to stuff and he has gotten to it. And
Yeah, even
props
in
to him for
when
that.
he's losing, he's still going forward, still trying to find a way, and you don't ever see him really kind of just giving up in a fight.
Right. He will fight until that either that bell rings or he is out cold.
Yeah,
That's a
so I
man that
see.
you won't see. It's a tap out or a blackout kind of man.
Yeah, I see Marab fighting one of these guys, but in my opinion, man, Marab has a good chance of beating either of these guys.
I'd argue that case is true. He's sure Sean O'Malley's striking is up there with some of the best that we've ever seen, not in just the bantamweight division, but in the UFC entirely. But you can't deny Marab's pressure and Marab's capabilities and Marab's durability.
And his ability to adapt.
Right. His a lot of fighters will say his flow is so good as he can pick up on something and adapt
You know,
and keep on moving.
and uh, I need to add also, the guy hits so hard. You saw Henry's arm.
Oh yeah, the
Holy
forearm
crap!
was that made me a little queasy. That was oof.
That must have hurt so much,
I
and
can't
that's why I'm always
imagine.
scared of blocking shots like this. You
Right,
know,
because it's there, and we is it? I don't know if it's confirmed if he broke his forearm, but
hmm
it looks like he
I mean
did.
that's definitely still high damage,
Oh yeah.
high damage. But anyways, we move on to America's sweetheart, Ian Gary. my favorite. And it was not everybody's favorite fight of the night, but good things can still be said about these guys.
Yes. Um, Ian Gary walked away with the split decision victory.
Fortunate
Um,
note.
yes, and first of all, very impressive. Like people may talk bad about Ian Gary because of his life outside the cage, but you can't deny his ability to put his money where his mouth is and go out there and win a fight, as his record is unblemished.
Against a rival too. Maybe
Right.
maybe the case was in the fight. Maybe a lot of emotions.
Yeah. Certain emotions can bring certain things out of a fighter, and definitely, I'd say he's had some pent up rage. Definitely had a few fighters. Maybe not Jeff Neal in particular, but definitely at some at some other fighters. But
He's
Jeff
pretty
Neal is,
one of the tallest welterweights.
oh yeah, he's huge and one of the longer ones too.
Easily
But Jeff,
bringing that knee up.
yeah, yeah, right up the middle, and that's what I'd say he did best because even though Ian Gary, I mean Jeff Neal is not a wrestler, you might want to take a taller, longer man like Machado Gary down on the ground. But what Ian Gary did so well was deny the takedown threat entirely because even when he wasn't in range, he would finish a combination and throw a knee right up the middle that
Yep.
would disrupt any takedown. And if you go back and watch, almost every close encounter was ended with a knee. So obviously Neil saw that and couldn't shoot for a takedown because if you shoot for a takedown and you get kneed in the head while you're shooting
Oh
for a
yeah.
takedown,
That's not what you want.
not a good combination.
Nope. And so, yeah, Jeff Neal, he seems pretty similar to guys like Usman and Leon, height wise. I don't know if Gary should stick to that knee in these upcoming fights because a lot of these guys are gonna try to wrestle with him.
Yeah, I would say definitely Ian McGarry is definitely one of the most well-rounded fighters we've seen coming out of the welterweight division. He's got some of the best. His distance management was one thing that
No,
I
that's
know for.
world class. It's distance management, world class.
Excuse me.
Probably.
But yeah, his distance management, with his kicks, with his punches, with his teeps, with his knees, was
Mhm.
incredible. He couldn't.
Everything
Jeff Neal
down the
couldn't get
middle,
close. Jeff Neal couldn't get close. He couldn't do anything.
and usually such an accurate fighter, but not his night. And
Not
so
his
a
night.
lot of boos. Sorry guys,
Yeah.
man. Hey, we just reported the news, man.
Right. One thing that I will say is obviously one of Ian Machado Gary's biggest inspirations is the notorious Conor McGregor. And
Oh yeah,
obviously McGregor announcing his hopeful return. I know I want to see him fight again.
yeah.
He brought up the idea of as he did call out Colby Covington, he brought up the idea of him fighting on the co-main against Colby as Connor would fight Michael Chandler. And I know for a fact that would be an incredible card.
Oh yeah.
Uh,
Just imagine they do something like that in Dublin.
that would be what a way to welcome the
Has
most iconic.
has Connor ever
Yeah,
fought in Dublin? I
I don't
can't
know
think.
if I don't know if they've had a card in Dublin.
Yeah, actually, now that I think about it, I don't think so. But
That'd be a good. I know
yeah,
that there's definitely a lot of Irish fans that have gone to UFC cards. If you even just look at press conferences, they're packed.
I'm sure they could do something. And so, moving on to the co-main, my favorite fight of the night,
Cool.
man,
Me too. I
like
I
a
love this fight.
throwback.
I Not a single dull moment with Robert Whitaker facing off against Paulo Costa,
Yeah.
who I know we were all I for one was really excited to see that fight.
Mhm.
Just on paper because obviously Paulo Costa had to pull out of 296 when he was gonna face um Hamzat, and I believe that Kamaru Usman stepped in to face him. I was really excited to see Paulo fight because he hadn't won a really big fight to put his name back out there.
Mhm.
and I
You
was
know,
I sorry.
middleweight is so stacked.
There's
In-
yes, everybody in
Insane.
middleweight you could put any of the top 15 against each other and you'd have a main event right there.
Yep, and a lot of those would be championship fights. Robert
Yes.
Whitaker versus Paulo Costa is so right there on the money of a championship fight. You know,
Props to the matchmakers. That
oh
was
yeah,
one of the best fights I've ever seen coming out of a non-title fight.
there's just so much grit and balls in that fight, man. These guys
Oh
going
my
forward. Whitaker not scared to take the risks and go in and try to hit him with the combos. Paulo Costa eating leg shots,
oh my God.
walking forward like a Terminator.
He's sticking up to his name. He is one of the most durable fighters we've ever seen in the UFC. He's one of the most powerful strikers. I mean, just look at his physique and you will just
Yeah, he's
he's
truly the eraser, man, and he was truly the in eraser mode that night, ready to bang, ready to give it his all, getting hit with crazy shots and still coming back and then fucking, hitting Whitaker with the kitchen sink, man, and surprising him in round one with the spinning back kick, and I think he caught him twice with that.
he threw it a few times. I think he landed it in he definitely landed in the first one. That
Yeah,
if there was 5 more seconds in that round, the fight would have been over. But Robert Whitaker got back to that corner. 60 seconds is a long time in the fight game.
yep. Question:
And some go.
Does Costa win round one with just that kick?
I don't think he does. I don't think he does because to win a round, you have to look at the entirety of the round. You can't just look at the last 10 seconds. Sure, it leaves a very good impression, but in other sports, a basketball game, you don't win the game because because you scored more points than the other team in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
You could still lose the game. So that's why I think that Paulo Costa might have still lost that first round. I gave it to Robert Whitaker on my scorecards, 30-27.
Beautiful. And man, I want to see Robert Whitaker what he's gonna do next. And man, I wish him so much luck. Also to Paulo Costa, it's so hard to there always has to be a winner and a loser, but it's so hard to let any of these guys go. Paulo Costa
Right.
still, despite that loss, has a amazing future. Put him
Right.
against anybody. It's a main
I would
event.
yes, that fight definitely had a winner, but it definitely did not have a loser. That fight was incredible for both of their stocks. And personally, for me, with Robert Whitaker, I see for number one contendership, I see him facing Sean Strickland as Adesanya is not fighting,
Oh
so you
yeah,
can't
yeah.
really make that rematch. Sean Strickland has to fight someone soon. He's obviously going to beg for a fight. I
Hmm.
say give him Robert Whitaker.
Oh man, that's an awesome fight. I see Whitaker winning that.
Me too. Robert Whitaker, he's got almost like a karate style. If you look at him and a karate fighter like Stephen Wonderboy Thompson, they're
Yep,
both very similar with their good footwork and their fast blitzes.
yep, yeah, and I think that that's going to be key in the fight between him and Strickland because there's so many other tools, and usually Strickland can kind of like stop all those tools by just going forward, staying in the 50 shell. But I just don't think Whitaker will get caught in those type of traps. Just too much experience to
Right.
just
That
keep doing the
he
same thing and having it fail. That's what a lot of happens to a lot of fighters against Strickland. They'll just be doing what they're doing, and then they'll see that it's not working, and they don't change it usually. Whitaker will change to wrestling, change to boxing, change to kickboxing, change to blitzes, and so many different tactics that he uses. Exciting, so exciting, and I can't wait. It's gonna be the end of the year is gonna be very very good.
yes. This so far this year has been amazing, but now
Mhm.
on to the moment that shocked the world, so to speak.
Yeah, man.
Uh,
What do
I
you
know
call
that
it?
we were both shocked. A
I was
flood of
so shocked.
emotions.
You
Flood of
know,
emotions.
I was going Volk all the way, guys. Sorry, man, if you call me biased, but I was going Volk all the way, man. One of the best to ever do it.
Right, I agree with you. He is un- arguably one of the best all time, if not up there. Oh,
I don't know what happened there.
okay. He is arguably one of the best, if not the best featherweight in the history of just the sport. But here comes undefeated prospect Ilia Topuria with his loud mouth, already saying that he won the title a month in advance,
There's a lot of
and
things
he said a lot, and I
comparing
think we were
himself to
all
McGregor.
impressed. I think we were all very impressed to see him pull off that victory.
He has hands of stone. I love the way he boxes. I'm not gonna lie.
Yes,
Let's get a quick look at that. And
let's
as
see.
painful as it is to see.
It hurts the soul.
Now let's review that really quick.
So Volk was already
Boom.
on the back
Goes to the
foot, as you
body.
can see. You can see that
Oh,
Volk's already on the back foot. That first left hook might have stunned him, and then
boo.
that
Oh, it was the right hand.
right hand, that left hook that first left hook to put him on his back foot probably stunned him, and he was probably gonna he was Volk dropped his guard as if he was gonna predict a body shot, and he feinted to the body and then went above with that right hand. Look at
Great
that left
boxing.
hand.
Boom. And then this
Big,
is where it comes.
yeah,
Boom.
boom.
Oh my God. And it's really class boxing, honestly.
Right.
Oh,
That
whoa.
um that was a great fight. I'm not gonna say that Volk looked bad because he didn't. He won the first round across all judges' scorecards. It was just
Admittedly, he did not seem so confident though, like how he usually does, like before. But he just hasn't looked quite the same since that knockout. Um, but I don't think that Taporia beat like a washed Volkanovski. I think he got caught.
yeah, and a huge saying is like when fighters get knocked out and they're all that like they get knocked out and their toughness all goes away.
Yep.
Once that chin gets broken, you can't repair that. A good example is Tony Ferguson, unfortunately, who once he got knocked out by Michael Chandler, he couldn't really bounce back, and
No.
he's now 6 fight losing streak from, and
Oh
it's
yeah.
it's a sad scene. I really personally hope that doesn't happen to somebody like Volk.
Yeah, I say in my opinion, I'd like to see him try one more time against Taporia, and if that don't work, I don't like to call for early retirement, but I would rather not see him tarnish his legacy.
Yes, I would definitely agree. I could definitely see him staying with the UFC, maybe taking up a role like Daniel Cormier did, where
Oh
he
yeah.
became an announcer or just a character amongst the UFC media, because Volk is such a beloved character in the
Oh yeah,
UFC.
we love him.
I know that there are very few people that hate Volkanovski as a character and as a
Yeah.
person.
Mhm. No, well, you'll be hard. It'll be hard to find those because I have not met one that hates Volkanovski.
I I'm with you. I'm with you. I he's such a humble person. You saw after he got interviewed, and he was nothing but humble.
you know,
Congratulating Ilya,
Mhm.
and
and
he's got nothing but respect.
and I did too for Taporia. And so what do we see for this guy now? He got
So
the belt very fast. Just
he's shot up.
freaking just went
One
through, just skipped the line and just kicked everybody's ass and just is champion.
one thing that I will say, um, I believe it was Chael Sonnen that said the true winner of that fight was Max Holloway,
Oh yeah.
and his reason
Oh, yeah.
his reason for that is one of the main reasons why Volk was champion for so long was because he beat Max Holloway not once, not twice, but 3 times. And Holloway being one of the best fighters alone, he was the definition of a championship gatekeeper. So
Yep.
you had 90% of the title shots that people were saying, oh, this is the one that's going to beat Volk, could not beat Max. So they got their title contention, and then Max was right there waiting for them. Max knocked them down. One key step was Ilya Taporia skipped Max and went straight to Volk.
Yep.
So I say after his fight at UFC 300, put Max Holloway against Ilya Taporia.
Oh yeah. Man, do we see like Max, regaining the title?
I
I,
mean,
I, I think I see Max winning that.
I do. He's one of the most adaptive fighters that we've ever seen, one of the most durable fighters we've ever seen.
Never knocked out.
Never knocked out, never. The only fights he lost were via decisions. And with a fighter like Ilya Taporia, that fight is not going to go to the distance. And you can't
Yeah.
deny Max Holloway's adaptability and the way he reads opponents
Hmm.
is
Also, that reach
amazing. Yes, with the
make it way
length.
harder for Tuporia.
But we
And
really
his
just have to wait and
wrestling.
see what happens at UFC 300 because Max could very possibly win that belt, the BMF belt.
Oh
And
yeah. Oh
what
yeah.
do they
Max
do
has already
then?
saved the fight.
Do they put do they when if they were to make um that fight official, do they make it for the BMF title and the featherweight belt? Or do
Nah,
they
not
make
happening, man. Not happening.
because I mean, I would love to see a featherweight Max Holloway as featherweight champion and BMF champion. That would
That
be
that's crazy. Dana White would never. That would be freaking awesome. That
it
would be
would be
like such a
amazing, but
crazy announcement.
it's unlikely.
Yes, yes. And so let's touch up on this week's card. Maybe touch
Ooh,
up a little bit on 300. Bunch of just a bunch of stars over here.
I mean, you go down this entire page, and you see what literally could be main event, main event, main event, main event, main event. There's
Yep.
not a single fight on either of these main cards that you wouldn't want to watch, and that could go 5 rounds across the entire.
Yeah, starting with Peter Yan, former champion, Hands of Steel, looking to get his the belt back eventually. But
Right, again.
what what really messed him up was the wrestling.
Yes,
So
against opposite Sterling, his
you know,
wrestling.
Sterling, even against Marab and other guys, he just couldn't keep up with the wrestling. And
Right,
so, but I don't think he'll have those type of problems against Song Yadong.
right. Song Yadong is a very good boxer, and I trust that he will mainly try and stand with Piotr Jan. Um, they're both very good boxers. That's going to be a banger of a fight.
Song Yadong is a lot fresher. I see him doing very well against Peter Yan.
Yes, I see a bright future in him.
Yep. Yep.
If Peter wins, I definitely see him in that top three still.
Calling
Uh,
out whoever he's probably gonna call
yes.
out Marab again or something.
Yeah, he's probably gonna either call him a Rob or maybe call out O'Malley because I don't think O'Malley and Peter Yan have fought.
Yep.
That would be
Oh yeah. No, I don't think so either.
that would be a good fight. And if Song Yadong wins, that's gonna boost him into title contention,
Oh yeah,
and
he's gonna be right
that's
there.
good. Yeah, and that's gonna be an incredible fight.
And since he's a newer name, I think that a lot of guys will take the bait.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
then our next fight in the welterweight division, we've got the veteran in Gilbert Burns against JDM Jack Della Maddalena, which
Gilbert Burns, one of my favorite fighters.
a classic fighter. He's such a well-rounded fighter with being a BJJ black belt and with one of the best boxing styles that we've ever seen.
hits like a truck and is so durable. The only guy that ever really put some damage on him, in my opinion, was Usman.
Yeah. Uh, Obviously, Usman's a beast and a force to be reckoned with. But Gilbert
Mhm.
Burns, he's still a top contender. He's number 4 right now. But Jack Della is another is another world of
That guy's
just
like a Swiss
skill.
Army knife.
He's got everything. Exactly like the Swiss Army knife.
This guy can and we're starting to see a lot more of these type of guys coming through. You don't got the traditionalists no more. You got guys that are just are straight MMA fighters. They just have everything
Right.
in their arsenal.
Right. It's like every sport, people evolve and athletes
Mhm.
get better, athletes get more skilled.
Yeah.
And like it's
Well,
looking
Malavena has a freaking tall order in his hands though, because Gilbert Burns is not going down easily.
no. Gilbert Burns is a force to be reckoned with. What a fighter.
Very excited for that one. And we got more newcomers to the UFC after the whole Bellator and PFL
Whoa.
thing started. Michael Venom Page joins
And
the UFC for his debut against Kevin Holland. Exciting fight, very similar styles.
yes, I have very I doubt that there will be any takedowns in this entire fight. Both fighters are amazing characters. Like you can look up Michael Venom Page on any platform, and you will see Michael Venom Page funny moments, Michael Venom Page
Yeah,
knockouts, or Kevin Holland funny moments, Kevin Holland knockouts.
yeah. Both of them have insane highlights.
Yes, and they're both very entertaining fighters. There are very few fights with either of them that you would
Yeah,
sleep through.
yes, yeah. And styles make fights. I see this one being a very exciting one, almost like a video game fight, almost like
Yes,
uh, almost like
with
a
Stand and
movie
Bang
fight,
mode.
man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's gonna be a crazy. I'm very excited for it.
Yep, yep, yep.
And then
Moving on.
we move into the co-main,
Oh,
which was specially requested to be a 5 round fight, which is one of the first times probably the first time I've ever seen a title fight that's a non-title fight co-main event
yeah.
be 5 rounds.
And sometimes I feel like more fighters should request something like this because we like say like the Whitaker fight. I would have loved to see
Right.
that one go 5 rounds.
Yes, that fight would have been maybe a different outcome. Maybe um, Whitaker would have gotten the finish,
Yep. You
but
never know.
The Diamond Dustin Poirier,
It's gone
not
has gone to round five countless times.
there's nothing left to say about him. He's been in the UFC for ages. One of the best strikers since he joined. There's nothing really to there's really nothing left to be said about Dustin Poirier. He's one of the best fighters that we've ever seen come out of the lightweight division.
Hmm. And
But
I guess since Saint Dennis has been going so hard, knocking out what's his name,
Matt
uh,
Frivola,
yeah, and some other guys along the way. Um, they're like, let's give this guy a real challenge. And
right?
there are not many guys tougher than Dustin Poirier.
Yeah. And props to Dustin. Like I really applaud Dustin as he was looking for a title fight against Islam,
Hmm.
but he took the prospect to boost up his stock, and I respect that.
You can't deny Poirier after he beats a younger fighter either. If he
Right.
wins this, he's he's still in the mix.
Yeah, he definitely needs a little bit of a bounce back after that finish against Gaethje for the
Yep.
BMF title.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
Um, so
And
I see this as a good fight for him. This could definitely put him back on the radar, and for Benoit Saint Denis, this could definitely put him onto
oh,
the
this is
radar.
skyrocket his stock. He'll be revered by everybody if he beats Dustin Poirier.
Right. And then on to the main event.
Oh
We
man,
got
Sean
Sugar Sean
O'Malley.
O'Malley and
Oh,
Marlon Cheeto Vera.
rematch.
wow. I mean,
Oh
I mean,
man, that's
we
gonna be a
we all
bang.
knew this was coming. The
Hmm.
second that O'Malley won the belt, we all knew that he was gonna try and avenge the only blemish on his entire MMA career, which is against Cheeto Vera.
Yeah, I love that he stuck to his word.
Respect that, and
I
that
really love
fight
that.
is gonna be an amazing fight. I'm very excited for it. I
Hmm.
know we both are. Everybody at Fighting Yo is.
Oh
But
man, we're going nuts for it, and I see O'Malley doing his usual work, keeping the distance. This time, putting on a performance of a lifetime against Cheeto because he lost to this guy, and you know it's almost like he's doing all this on purpose, right? He's kind of painting a
right,
story. He's like, I'm gonna become a viral fighter first. Becomes a viral fighter, gets the highlights. I'm gonna go become champion. Goes become champion. I'm gonna go avenge my loss, and that's what he's about to do. And in my opinion, he's gonna make it a movie.
yes, I mean, I would argue that I'd say it's a pretty solid argument that Sean O'Malley is the current Conor McGregor of the MMA
I'd
page
say
right now,
so. Yeah.
as he's got the flashy knockouts, he's got the highlights to back it up, he's got the confidence, he's got the social media presence, and he's just an amazing fighter too. He's got an amazing style. His striking is
World
amazing,
class.
and I know
How
that
did
we
Cheeto
both of
stop this
us.
guy?
Well, I mean, you could leg kick him again. Hope that you hit the same nerve.
He's pretty heavy on his stand.
Yeah. So I definitely think that O'Malley's gonna try and work and lighten his stance up, probably be a little bit more mobile, and try and let those leg kicks just try and check him a little bit more. I definitely am excited for this fight.
It's gonna be a great one. And so with that, we finish, guys, the punchline for this week. Catch us again on Tuesday next week, where we're gonna go down the the winners of UFC 299, and we'll touch up a little bit more on UFC 300. And hopefully we get another guest on here. We couldn't have Carl this time; had some scheduling issues, but we're in the mix, guys. And Jack, nice talking to you, bro. And
Always.
we'll see you guys next time on the punchline.
See you.